We're on?
Mm-hmm.
Once again. Well, here we are back at the ranch, so to speak. Every once in a while, when we're doing things here, I like to let people know and how things are done, or how we do it anyway, you know. I'm hoping that all you people are getting something out of all these videos, because that's the purpose of it. The purpose of it is not to show how I do it or how great I am at doing all this or any of that kind of bull. Mainly it's about enlightening you people to see what really happens in a small shop like this, where everybody is doing the best they can to make the instrument what it is, you know. And I'm getting ready to put frets in this. I already put a couple in. And I know I did a thing when we did the Les Claypool's new bass. But that was an unusual fret job. That was because the neck was so stiff. I had different things that I had to do, and I was trying to show you on that. But this one here is a pretty normal thing, and I thought maybe you'd like to see that and see how it's done. I'd say the most important thing in getting frets in there right is not so much the frets themselves or putting the frets in, it's getting the fingerboard right first, which hopefully we've already done that. Someday on another video we'll show that too, how we straighten the fingerboard out, and the radius blocks that we use to get the radius by hand. I know a lot of people just, you know, use a CNC machine and they just run it through and that's it. Yeah, I'm not so sure about all that. You know. I'm kind of glad I don't have one. And getting the fingerboard right in the first place, like I said, that's the most important thing. Putting frets in is fairly easy once the fingerboard is right. You know. Things I think you need when you're doing frets is fret wire. And I've already cut, or I should say my friend Eben here already cut all this. Eben, sorry. I still get, why do I get his name like that? Show Eben, he's the new guy. This is a new guy that's helping us out. And he's been helping sand wood and glue up things and cut fret wire for me and stuff like that. Empty the vacuum cleaner, you know, all that. We all do that, by the way, you know. I do it. Fret wire, usually it comes, when I get it now, it's like straight lengths. I get it from Stu Mac. The fret wire I use is number 149, if anybody is interested. That's the size, normal size I use. For some special people who want something else, I do that. But normally, I use a 149. It's made by Stu Mac. And it comes, like I said, in a tube straight length. And I think on that video we did with Les Claypool, I showed the fret bender over here, and we put it and showed you how we make the radius in there. And then we cut it, you know, to lengths. The radius is there. That's pretty much just a little more than what the radius of the fingerboard is. This radius is 16 inches, you know, roughly. And we try to make this a little more than that. So when the fret goes in on the ends, you get a nice seat. If you have too much of a radius, if it's too much, you can get the ends in really nice. You know, there's no question about that. But then you have trouble getting the middle down because you've already tapped both of these sides in, and when you get to the middle, you still have this big arch there. And what you end up with is like the fret looks something like this going across the fingerboard, you know, and you definitely don't want that, you know. So, and sometimes when I take the thing out of the fret bender, I take the wire and pull it a little bit just to get a little bit less than what I have that thing set up for. These frets here, they're about 2.5 inches long. I usually like to leave, you know, something, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, something on the outside. So when you put it in, you can really see it sitting in the slot almost right away, you know. And if the wire is too short, it's hard to negotiate all that. You know, here I have some leverage I can push down, and I can actually see. You know, just to take a piece of wire and start pounding it in, that's not a good idea. You know. If you get it right that way, you've lucked out. Something else, another thing, you know, I'm not sure if Joe or even Evan even saw this before. I know because people's looking for the steel block this morning. I have a big steel block here. We use this thing for a lot of things. Bruce Hoheb, a young man who used to work in my shop back in the 70s. Hey, God bless you, Bruce. He had this, and we used to use it in the shop. And when he left, I said, don't forget your, he said, no, Carl, keep it. You never know. You might need it someday. This piece of steel, Joe, he's looking for a piece just like it. So is Pete. Everybody wants a piece of steel like this. I use this thing for everything. You know, if you have like you're gluing a piece of wood down to something that's real small and you don't have a clamp, put this on top of it. It acts as a clamp almost. You know. Oh, and when you're sanding something, and you want to keep something level, wrap the sandpaper around it and use it as a sanding block. When we do our headstocks and things like that to get them all level, this is what we use. And I don't think Joe's ever even seen me do this, but I forgot about it. Sometimes I just forget to do it. In my old shop, when I had the big shop, I had a workbench that a friend of mine who was a carpenter, and he tore buildings down and stuff like that. And he'd say, Carl, I found a butcher block. You're going to love it. It'd be a great workbench for you. That thing was was about as long as this bench is here, I guess, you know. But it was like solid butcher block maple. It was about that thick. And it was like wide and long. That thing was so solid, you could hit and you got no repercussion at all, you know. Unfortunately, that bench is out at John Montalbano's place out in Long Island. We just didn't have room here to put it up. So in lieu of that, we had the smaller benches. And when you're putting frets in, and a lot of guys use those, what do they call those things, Joe?
An arbor press,
it's like a press, you know.
Yeah, an arbor press.
An arbor press, yeah. And they even have those things like, I never saw one, but Stu Mack has one. Like, it's like a hand arbor kind of a thing like that, I guess. I never used any of those, and I guess they work for some people. I just got so used to putting frets in with a hammer that it works for me, and that's the way I'm going to show you guys. You know.